I have come again to say another something. I know that some people again too, they will see me from a different angle. But this is my own angle that I'm seeing this thing that is happening in this outside that we are inside. I want to first thank all man that will share the other video concerning the political engagement. I thank Una very much because I was flabbergastedly overwhelmed with the sharing and the reaction. And that is how I want to say we should also share this video so that people then should be giving their views. Like this, we can, in our own small corner, better things in this aside that we are inside. The Russian Federation, headed by Vladimir Putin and the other countries, they have created something that they call the BRICS. And now, they have come to Africa to come and look for the bricklayers that will go and mold the bricks that they have created. And I see many African countries now going there. They go there. They are waiting there. They have summit. Now it have passed. I see African country then go there. Some African country then when I spoke fine. So when I spoke say no. If we want to be the member of the BRICS, we must have equal strength. It should be partnership. Good. I'm not denying. So one day, like Senior Paulo, they went there, was begging me for financial aid for development. Negotiation with the IMF. What I borrow the money, so all the time when he borrow the money, so he do now today, we don't know. But that is not my point. My point for this thing is that what Africans truly need at this point in time? Do we need to go to Russia to join Russia in their agenda? Because when you look at it chronically, you look and find, you go see and say, the reason for the BRICS is to counter the West, which Russia too, for me, all white man country in the West. Russia, them now, they want to counter this other block where it don't suppress. Now, the block don't suppress Africa, yes. But when you look at it again, should African leaders be more concerned about uniting the Africa or going to join allies overseas? Because the strongest allies the Africans can have is a united Africa with one strength. African leaders should be busy moving from one African country to another, seeing how they can join forces, seeing how they can have economic autonomy, how they can have political autonomy, how they can have their full independence, because Africa is not yet independent. But now they are busy going to the Russia. Today, France holds summit, African leaders don't go there. Russia holds summit, African leaders don't go there. Why? In Africa, we have divided Africa into fractions. What they call divide is still another form of divide and rule. In the Central Africa, we have the CEMAC zone. In the South Africa and this side of the East Africa or what, they have the SADC. West Africa, they have the ECOWAS. They don't broke Africa like cookie. Broke and so like egusi pudding. Broke and so. Still divide them. These our African leaders that went to Russia. How many times have they sat together and decided to make an African front, bringing all of these different zones in Africa into one? When last did Paul Biya visit Ramaphosa? When last did Ramaphosa visit the president of Rwanda? When last did the ECOWAS visit the CEMAC? When last did the CEMAC visit the SADC to talk about how Africa can be strong and independent alone? When last did the AU, the last time I wish time, where AU should also make policies that can empower African states? When last did the AU sit and decided to make an African stronghold, make it stronger than before? When? Economically, we are dependent on the West and Europe. Politically, now they put people over here. Everything. This is a time when our African leaders are supposed to be uniting more, interacting among themselves, like what Julius Malema is preaching and Patrice Lumumba, talking about economic emancipation, how we can have our own currencies, how we can control our economy, how we can trade among ourselves using our currencies, not bringing in the euro or the dollar or the pounds in the middle of our trade. This is what Africans have to be talking about now. To take a small flight from one African country to another African country is even more expensive to take a flight from Africa to another continent. African leaders are supposed, and now when people should not open your eyes, see that we have to synergize, we have to build ourselves, gain our autonomy back. This independence that we fought for, before we became dependent on the white, they came here, conquered us, then put us under them. But now we are going to them for them to recolonize us again. Before the First World War started, we had the Allies and the Axis. It goes soon as it continues to the Second World War. Today in this generation, I hear now about the East and the West and this other side, BRICS. Africa, they work and follow for back. The First World War and the Second World War came and met us in Africa. We were on our own. We only participated in this war because the colonial masters that had control over us at that time were fighting. And so we push you inside the war by force. But now we are starting to join camps. If you go and do partnership now with the BRICS, you're a BRICS member or you're a DDDs, when they will have a conflict of interest with the EU, Africa is automatically involved. The African members that are in EU will be fighting the African members that are in BRICS. Are you people seeing where we are going to? We have to stand up and wise. The African youth of now, let me first of all give a good chapeau to the captain of Burkina Faso, who is now the current president, the interim president, the transitional president, Touré. Touré, you did a great job. I heard what you spoke in the summit, but you people should avoid going to this. When will the European presidents come to African summit to beg for interest, to beg for assistance? We keep begging with all the resources we have. We have dominance in resources. We have dominance in intelligence. We have, and they depend on this, our resources, for everything. But we are the one going there to beg. We are the one rushing. Each time they have something, they invite us. We don't go. Go into limousine, became proud. Queen Elizabeth died, is more die here. You people go there. They go and put people inside bus, Musango bus. Like PWC players that are going for Elite One championship. See how African leaders. Where is this? Is this the Africa that Thomas Sankara fought for? Is this the Africa that Kwame Nkrumah was preaching? Is this the Africa that Mohammed Gaddafi died for? I don't know. Some say the Joe that agreed the so the Joe look all the other leaders say. Do you understand? I don't know. The generational curse that is on this, especially those old leaders. But we the youth, we the people that have now this, the voice, we have to be telling them all the time. Because if we not shake them, so they will keep making these decisions. The social media now have been used to distract us, the youth. Instead for us to focus on political affairs, we have been distracted, showing yash on TikTok and Facebook, showing other things, playing, watching other programs. These programs are important, but the rate of addiction that we are putting there, as we are focusing on that domain, the white man is fooling this our OPA leaders that they don't have conscience for us. We have to wake up. This is a message I'm giving to all of these African leaders. Stop visiting these European countries for this and that summit. Africa needs more visits among African presidents to build a strong Africa for Africans. Because we have everything. But the only disaster that we have is the leaders. Yes, God gave a natural disaster, tornado, hurricane to the Americans. Indian side and the other side, they gave them flood. Come to this other side, they gave them earthquakes. Africa natural disaster are these leaders that have prostrate in front of the white. This generation of leaders that we have now, that is the disaster Africa has. And one by one, we'll take them out. Just like Mali is doing now, other African countries will follow. You see a young and vibrant president, we'll kick out all of these European countries and we'll have a strong Africa for Africans. Like what some people are already preaching. I have said my own. I don't know what you think about what I have said. Your point can also be more important than my point. I believe that from this viewpoint of mine, I don't succeed to tell you that Africa have to shine their eyes.